Hi, welcome to Spinster. Spinster. Welcome to Spinster, actually. My name is Anna Marie, and today I wanted to do a podcast textile knitting episode. It's been like a few months, and I don't have a single finished object to show you. And the thing that is the most close to finished, is that actually true? I do have finished objects, but not in terms of like knitting. Because I say that because like I think my last podcast episode, it was just about knitting, and I was like very in a knitting mind zone. Frame of mind is maybe a better way to say that. But I haven't finished anything, and the thing that's closest to a finished object is something that a friend knit for me. So yeah, but I think we'll start with that, and I'm gonna go, but I have a lot to talk about, I feel. I have knitting, spinning, and I also have some sewing stuff I want to talk about, but maybe more briefly. And so yeah, I kind of am doing this also so that I can then tidy away some of these things, which I've sort of been, you know, storing in a very messy fashion whilst I've been like waiting to find time to kind of talk through them / I don't know, I guess it's also about like progress. Some of these things, like the things that aren't finished, but I have lots of things that are unfinished at the moment, so there's no way I'm going to be finishing all of them very fast, so I need to like maybe be a bit more specific and pick one thing to focus on. Also, hilariously, one of the things that I think I must have showed up that was like almost finished has become less finished because I frogged back almost all of it except from the yoke. But yeah, anyway, we'll get to that. So yeah, the first thing is this, which if you have, you know, been an avid viewer of this channel, you'll know that I frogged this pattern, and then a friend knit this for me. So this is the Can Do cardigan by, it's really hard to show on camera, there we go, by Lydia Morrow. And because of the way that cardigans are shaped, there's obviously a lot of purling, like knitting and purling. And purling really hurts me, and I just don't enjoy it very much, so I was just really disliking this whole process. And I also had a moment where I suddenly realised that when I was knitting it flat, I was actually knitting twisted, because I knit in like the Eastern uncrossed Eastern way, where I put, anyway, it doesn't matter, but the point is I learned that about myself in partially through like trying to knit this and being like frustrated by the whole process and not enjoying it at all. I did also record myself frogging it, which I guess you can watch if you're interested. Yeah, so then my friend was like in a time of like not really knowing what to knit, and so like I think I had given it to them to knit some of, and then I think they had made a mistake. Yeah, because I think I got quite far on this until I was going to get to a point where I was knitting in the round, but I just still hated it so much. So I gave that to a friend, and then I think they like did put the shoulders together, but then the twisted stitch stuff happened, and also I think I honestly don't really, how did they end up knitting it for me? Anyway, it was very nice of them, and I deeply appreciate it. And basically what's left to do is to pick up stitches around and make an I-cord edge all around the sides, and then make I-cord ties, which is how I want this to be tied. And then I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can do some like embroidery on it, but we'll see. Let's see, does it, I think it is pretty cute. It's like the wool is, I think, like British wool from Woolly Knit, and it is a little bit itchy for me, but with like a t-shirt under, or like a, you know, something under, it should be okay. So yeah, so then hopefully it will be like tied at various places across. I think the sleeves are really cute, and yeah. So yeah, this is not knitting that I did, but yeah, I don't know if it was clear, but like the plan is for me to do the I-cord edging, and yeah, I think I might block it first and then do it, but I'm really not sure. I kind of, it's partially because it's now at a time when it will take quite a long time to dry, and I also have some issues with the boiler in my flat, but I don't know, we'll see. So in terms of other knitting stuff, this is the project that I was knitting the most on and probably closest to finishing. I think I haven't rewatched that video, but the last time I did a podcast. This is the sisymbrium jumper by the Crimson Stitchery. Basically, I knit the size 4, I believe, and I knit the whole garment. I actually completely finished it, but then I just couldn't let go of the fact that I felt like the fit was wrong. And I think part of it is kind of just like yoke construction stuff. But also I just felt like the way I had responded to the fit issues was bad, and it made it worse. Because basically it was that the yoke, when I had separated the front and the back after knitting the yoke, there was so many more stitches in the back than there needed to be, and instead of going back then, which I obviously should have done, I guess I didn't think about how it would like materially affect it, except from that I knew I wanted to then decrease. I decreased in a way that I think was like really obvious, and so there was just, but even then, like there was still loads of fabric in the back that didn't need to be there. And you know, I can't remember if I did more bust shaping than in the pattern, but either way, like the coverage of the front was like just about okay. So that also I guess is what made me decide not to like knit the size below just immediately. And I was also knitting because I wanted it to be finished for a particular thing, which of course it wasn't. And I also did re-knit the sleeve like 4 times, although I did then end up with like a design that I was really happy with, so I'm hoping to just be able to reproduce that for this version, but we'll see. But I do think it like turned out really cute. I put more bobbles on it along here, and yeah. But the point about this is, so I decided that my solution is that I'll go to knit the 3rd size instead of the 4th size, and then I'll probably have to do more bust shaping, but hopefully that will decrease the like gigantic amount of mass that was in the back. And I think that will produce something that I'm more comfortable with. And I feel like it's easier to like add bust shaping than it is to like nicely decrease too much stuff in the back. Yeah, but we'll see. I think yoke construction is just not really for me, but like I do really like this pattern and I want to finish it, so I will. I just also, having made it completely and then having frogged almost all of it back, I haven't been like particularly inspired to like knit it, but I did knit a little bit more of it recently. And it is knit in a really nice yarn, which is morrow yukata, and so you know, I think it will be nice. And when it was knit up, like it looked gorgeous. I got a lot of compliments on it whilst I was knitting it too. So I'm looking forward to it being finished. But yeah, the reason why I didn't reknit the whole thing is because I didn't need to reknit the yoke, because it was like, because of how it was constructed, like I got it back to the point where it was the size for the 3rd size, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think other things that I talked about in that video were this, which is nothing, which is the Johnson from the Vintage Shetland Project, Susan Crawford book. Yeah, I've made like a tiny amount of progress on this, but I think it's going to be cute. And to be honest, for me, because I just get so hot, like knitting summer things, or like things that are sort of supposed to be okay to be worn in summer, is kind of fine for me to do all year round, because I probably will wear it all year round. I just might wear it with like something underneath it to keep warm. Whereas with like big wool jumper stuff, like I get so hot. Like, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I haven't actually knit myself a jumper, because yeah, I just get really hot. I think the other thing I showed was probably this. I think it has grown a little bit since that video, but like a tiny amount. This is the waistband of the Sugar Plum blouse by Sydney, like Squid School of Knitting, like vintage inspired knitting stuff. And you know, these are all like long-term projects, especially when it's just ribbing. I think this ribbing I have much less left, whereas this I have to go on for a long time more. But you know, occasionally I pick it up and I do something. The 2 projects that were not in existence for that video are these. This is a, I don't know, I'm now kind of second guessing my decision about the gauge slash, yeah, because I mean it is very see-through, but anyway, this is another Tolsta tee, which is something I knit this year, but I knit one in some knitting for merino pure silk, but then also some like cotton wool yarns, which I think is fine for spring, but for summertime I can't really wear it. But also I have had this moment of being like, I need more like nice tops to wear. So I was just kind of like, well, I like this pattern, I know it, and it's fairly simple, so I'm gonna do it. And basically I have this cone of linen cotton from Woolly Knit as well, which I got literally years ago because I bought 2 cones of 500 grams, so I bought 1,000 grams of yarn for £10, like for both of them, which is crazy. And then I used up most of this one in my cloud bow dress has a bunch of it in, and also I made a top from a Susan Crawford pattern, which I can't remember, but it was like, it's like a sort of lace top, and then it has this little like knitting. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is I used most of it, so then I have just like this left. So I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about this and how like I should use it. It's a lace weight, but I'm holding it double, and how I'm doing the color change is, instead of it being like a full stripe, because also I don't really have that much and I don't know how far this will get me, although obviously it's a very thin yarn, so there's probably still quite a lot of meterage, even if there's not like enough for like a whole top, obviously. So instead of doing 2 of the same color, I just swap out one of the threads of this like pink red, and put this one in instead. I really like it. I think it's kind of giving like a sort of medieval jester vibe color. I don't know how frequently I'll do these stripes. Obviously it also depends on how long this lasts. I think I'm going to do a bit more of this, and then like a chunk of this one, and then hopefully there'll be like one chunk on the torso or something. Yeah, when I started this I knit quite a lot of it because I was just like in the zone for it, and then I had to travel and I couldn't take it with me because I was just like, there's no way I'm lugging 500 grams of yarn on a cone with me. And you know, I haven't really been, I mean, I've just been exhausted, I guess, and not really in the mood for knitting and blah blah blah. Yeah, I think, like I said, the one main concern is how see-through this fabric is, although I guess on camera it looks much less see-through than I feel like it feels. So maybe I'll feel more comfortable. Obviously I can just wear stuff under it, which is fine. I suppose it is, maybe sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out what to wear under something because you don't want to like disrupt the colour too much or change it, especially if you chose something because you really like the colour specifically. But anyway, that's that little project. Tolsta Tea by Creabea. I don't think I actually said who it's by, but yeah. Then the next thing I'm knitting is something I knit again like quite a large chunk of, and then I stopped, partially because I sort of had to like finish making yarn for it, and I still don't know if there will really be enough, but we'll see. But basically this is like a bunny hat. I don't remember what the designer is called. I think they're just called Bunny Clava. And yeah, I'm a little concerned about the fit. Obviously, hopefully the perfect. But yeah, basically like this is my hand spun yarn from like that I made during okay, words fail me, Tour de Fleece. And I had a moment where I took out all of my yarn and I looked at it and was trying to figure out like what things I'd already like you know, have in motion that I want to make, what yarn I've like decided will go into one project, and then what other bits I have left over and stuff. And one thing I've been bad about is using my hand spun yarn, so this was like also a way to just like do it. This is the first like proper skein of yarn I've made on a spinning wheel, and I do talk more in detail I guess about it in my Tour de Fleece like wrap up and vlogs and stuff, so you know, you can check those out if you're interested. But yeah, I just thought this pattern was really cute, and I have this much left, so I'm hoping that I'll get at least an ear, another ear. I have also been putting like this yarn in the middle for like a little of the like you know, like the inside of an ear. I just kind of been vibing. I also kind of feel like I might run out and have to just switch to this for the rest of it, which would be fine. And I also might like half knit one of the ears and then do the like cross section so that they're like connected in this color, and then finish the rest of the ear so the whole thing is just this color. But we'll see. Yeah, but it's like a fun, cute little project. I think now that it's like colder, I probably will want to pick this up more, and I'm just like excited for it to be done. Like, it's crazy. I made this wool, it's knitting up, like, let's go. Yeah, I think those are all the like knitting related things. I guess that leads very nicely on to talking about my hand spun. Okay, so these are all skeins of yarn that I've made fairly recently, and then I've also got these with a tiny little one, which I'll get onto. So this is from like a blend from Wingham Woolwork, which I don't have near me and I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, so some of these, I think one of these skeins, I don't remember which, I plied / spindle spun during Tour de Fleece, and the others I did a lot of plying, I think, because I had collected singles. And yeah, like, I think it's a really beautiful, I hope it's coming up okay on screen, like a really beautiful kind of pink, purple, green combo. This one I think is like the thickest. And then yeah, like the plying and the spinning is definitely not consistent all the way through, but I actually do feel like within a skein I think they're probably fairly consistent, so that's great, and like, you know, is all part of my progress. Some of them are just looking like really lovely, I think. So yeah, I've got so I have about like 25, oh wait, and then I have this one, 25, okay, I have like slightly under, I would say, like 30 grams here to do. I still have more of this blend. I just kind of got bored of like doing one color, and obviously spindle spinning takes quite a while, especially now that I like know how to use my spinning wheel. It is kind of crazy how quickly you can spin up yarn. But yeah, I'm, you know, definitely excited to try and make this into some kind of project. Not sure what yet, but again, I really am committed to like using my hand spun like it's supposed to be used. It's beautiful and it's like interesting. Oh, and there was this one. Oh, this one I plied during Tour de Fleece, but this is a slightly different mixer because I was just blending stuff together that were like leftovers. Yeah, I also have this other one which I don't think I spun during Tour de Fleece, but I had made fairly recently, and this is also like one of like a hodgepodge of different bits of fibre I had left, and I just wanted to put them together, and I think it's really beautiful. I have kind of been like making and collecting like green yarn, but like I don't have any particular plans for it. I've been trying to do like year of greens where I make something green like for 2 years in a row, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to do it for a third year too. I don't know why it's so hard to like access the green, but there we go. The next kind of section, I guess, well, okay, so we'll start with this, which is a 3-ply. It's a chain ply, and it's the same blend that I used during the Tour de Fleece, which was yeah, like a special Tour de Fleece like colour from 2024 from John Arbon, and basically this is like the single that I spun on my friend's spinning wheel, that like they let me try out to test it out, you know, see the vibe, and when they gave me the single from it, I obviously just had what I had spun up, and it was very like thick and thin, so this is probably also not great yarn to like it wasn't great singles to like practice with, but then at the same time it's kind of good singles to practice with because I didn't really care that much about the outcome. So I decided that I would try to do a 3-ply, and so this is my first 3-ply attempt, and I think, you know, I'm quite happy with it. I mean, like I basically watched like one video on how to do it, and then I like did it. And you know, because of the like plies thick and thin, like there's definitely like that did contribute to like the overall vibe of this, but I think it's fairly cohesive. I don't think it's like overspun. It might be like slightly more spun than I would want, but I don't think it's, you know, overspun. And yeah, I was really happy with how it came out. It does produce an extremely round yarn, and there's definitely points where I feel like this yarn is like getting to a really good like solid level of like competence, but you know, overall like the skein isn't great, and I don't know what I'll do with it, but it was just like a way to like learn this new technique, or like start to learn. I definitely don't feel like I will be making really amazing 3-ply skeins immediately, but hopefully, you know, I'm on my way to getting better, which is the main goal. And then the other things I've been spinning have been my Zwartbles, which is just so beautiful, but also is giving you like one solid colour on the camera, which I suppose is more and more now that it's like this, but it's beautiful. So yeah, these are 2-ply skeins. One of the bobbins that I made these from was what I spun during Tour de Fleece. So very happy to have done that. It definitely is like a yarn that really sticks to itself. I think it's looking beautiful. It is, this is definitely like, I'm hoping to get a thinner spin generally on this. Like it's feeling, yeah, like a little bit, I mean, it's fine, it's not so chunky that I don't know what I'll do with it or whatever, but I would like to get more consistently thinner singles. So I have these 2 like big skeins like this, and then I have I'm pretty sure this was just like a bunch of random leftovers, and I think I tried to also practice like a 3-ply with it, but you really can't tell or see very much from it because of the colour and the lighting, I guess. It didn't go very well, like it was fine. And then this like broke off, but it's like the thinnest part that I spun, and like I think this is like super gorgeous, and this is kind of the thickness that I would like to be spinning it at, but I think, you know, this is maybe the goal, but probably not gonna happen consistently anytime soon. One more thing on this Zwartbles spin, I mean, I have a lot left, and I have now carded quite a lot of it at my aforementioned friend's place, who has incredible resources and generosity. But yeah, so I have this bobbin of a single ply, and it definitely is thinner, I think, overall than my previous spinning of it. I'm now kind of stuck in terms of deciding what I want to do, because this fibre I combed, and then the rest of the Zwartbles that I have, well, except for maybe like you know, like 20% left maybe that I haven't yet processed. I mean, I've washed it, but that's the only thing I've done. So I guess I could technically decide to comb that, but I think that's kind of silly considering the like physical toll that combing has, and now I have access to this like big drum carder. And I've already carded a bunch of it left, so I'm not sure if I want to use this maybe and do a 3-ply, like a chain ply of this, or just combine 2 fibre preps and, you know, do a 2-ply, but one of the plies was combed and one of them was carded. I kind of wanted to, because I'm going to note that this was like a skein made from combed fibre, because I want to like see what the difference is. Like obviously I have so much of this one particular fibre, I may as well kind of do some experimentation, and it is my first time doing something like this, so I guess I want to get as much like information as possible. And yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I want to, and obviously I'm sure like some of the differences are like pretty low key, and a lot of it probably depends on like how much you card or comb something as opposed to the actual process itself. Although maybe I'm wrong, I haven't spun from the carded fibre yet, so I could experience it very differently when I do. I don't know, we'll see. The last like little skein I have to show is this, which is another Wingham wool blend that somebody gifted me, and this one is 1000 blend. There was 100 grams in here, there's obviously slightly less than that now, and this is the first skein that I have spun on a Turkish spindle, which is very exciting. And I'm pretty happy with it, you know, like I definitely was really worried that I would start using a Turkish spindle and be like, oh no, I have to like relearn how to use a spindle. But obviously it is a drop spindle, and I kind of feel like once you know how to do that, you obviously might still need to like, you know, change your technique and figure out things and be responsive to the actual specific tool you're using. But you know, it came fairly easy to me, and that was really nice. I will show you the drop spindle, which has experienced a tragedy because, so I went to a wool show recently, or like, yeah, in the summer, and I went and I had some specific things I was looking for. I was looking for like fleece, of course, which I did get. It's now somewhere else, so I won't show it, but it was BFL and it's so beautiful. I've got like 200 grams of that, and it was like £1 per 100 grams, which is crazy because it was pure gold. Like, it's gorgeous. And I also got some Icelandic fiber, which actually is over there, but I'm not going to get it. I paid for like a really fairly small amount of 3 different coloured like sections of fleece that are all like pre-washed and ready to be spun. I think I paid like £9 or something, and I got such a small amount because I'm not sure if I'm going to be allergic to it or not. And I do kind of think that when I first got it home and I had like opened the like bag that it came in, that maybe I am allergic. But now I also feel like I've got into my head that I am allergic to it, even if maybe I'm not that allergic. I don't know, we'll have to see. But the other thing I got was a Turkish spindle. However, tragedy struck and it snapped. The like, you know, the main center pole, like, it snapped in two. Like, it was really frustrating. I wasn't spinning at the time this happened. So I was really sad about that. Also, I think this is really beautiful. I love like the carving of it. But the, whatever these are called, these are okay. And I had already started spinning this little skein. The reason why this is so small is because I stopped when this happened, I think, and like took it off, because then I could see if this was also damaged. And yeah, so I'm glad it isn't. And basically my friend ordered like a package, the same friend I've been talking about this whole time, like a package of some stuff, and this was included in it. And they're not like very into spindles, so they like gave it to me, and I was trying to make it work as a drop spindle, but I actually think that the like gravitational pull and the weight distribution doesn't make it a good drop spindle. It does not spin for long enough. And I was like looking at it, and then I was like doing some of this, and I was thinking it seems kind of like an experiment to see if you could make a support spindle into a drop spindle without doing anything, but I kind of think the answer is you can't. And it even has like a little ridge here, like a lot of spindles have when they're either support spindles, or obviously this is a Turkish spindle. And so I was like, oh well, maybe this will fit, and it does. And I mean, I am gonna maybe at some point hopefully see if I can get a replacement for this, because I think it would be really nice. But you know, that will cost more money and like blah blah blah. And for now, like, this does work, and it's weighted fairly nicely. I don't know if it's increased the weight like majorly, but I don't think it will have increased it like super a lot. And so I have been like hoping to then use it in this one. And even if I'm disappointed that the pole in the middle broke, at least I can still use it, and like it definitely is spinning well enough, I think, at least in my very amateurist opinion. So yeah, I'm excited to like explore more with a Turkish spindle, which I am happy to finally got my grubby hands on. Other like spinning stuff, like spindly stuff specifically, is what's on my like my drop spindle, my original, which is Cotswold. Yeah, I'm taking it slowly. I think I only have 20 grams of it if I remember correctly. Yeah, but I'm really like enjoying it. It has this beautiful like luster to it. I don't know what I'll do about plying it. I haven't really thought about that. I just wanted to like experiment with the fibre and see what it was like to spin. And the answer is that it's really nice. I haven't spun it for a little while, but I've got so many projects, I've like barely been making progress on any of them. And then I also have been sewing a bunch recently. So I guess that's where we go next. I think that is everything I had for the spinning portion of this. Okay, so I actually sort of, yeah, I have 2 like finished objects that are sewn. I just sort of, like, yeah, like I said, I feel like they're kind of in a different lane than with knitting. And I feel like it's partially because when I sew something, I do tend to like sew it really fast. So it's not that it like, there's not really a point where it's not a finished object. I say that and I am about to show you some things that are like in progress. But like once I'm done with them, then I'll be like done. Whereas I feel like with knitting, it's just fairly like constant. And more slow than sewing tends to be. I mean, obviously it depends how you make stuff and like blah blah blah, but anyway, the point is, I think last year I showed or maybe it was this year, but I showed like a talus bag that I had, like it was patchwork and that I had sewn for a friend, and I now have my own talus, of course, so I need my own talus bag also, so I made another one which is patchwork also, and this is what it looks like. I'm really happy with how it came out. Should I pull the middle out? Let's pull the middle out. I used a lot of really like lovely fabrics, I think. Okay, whatever. This is sort of the inside. And I feel like they are cohesive even if they're quite different. And I was really glad that like one of the sides I didn't do so many different colours. It was just these three, which I think really helped with the process, and also the like I think it can be kind of hard if you're not very precise with patchwork, so I think that really helped with my lack of precision. And yeah, like I mean, I love this little fabric. I'm just really happy with how it came out. I also really love this fabric, and I only had like this much of that one. So yeah, really successful project for me. Gonna be taking it into school for the high holy days. So yeah, and I mostly, I think, except from this little section, these are all scraps from, oh, and maybe like one of the things on the inside as well, but these are all scraps that I bought from somebody else. There is definitely a patchwork theme in my sewing at the moment, and that's partially because I've just been really inspired by Afrayed upcycling, like her designs, and also her like patchworking of things, and I do have like a pattern of hers which I have bought secondhand fabric to hopefully make at some point, but it's not it's definitely not going to be sometime soon, so because I've got things to get through. So yeah, I think everything except for one thing that I want to show is patchwork and a lot of them are from her like scraps. This one I also have like a scrap of my own, but the front is I think all of hers. This is like a little collar. Actually, this is my scrap, but I have been mostly struggling to figure out how to wear it, and I do think that the shape isn't the greatest, and that's partially because of the patchwork, because I'm not very neat and precise, like I said, but I think it is pretty cute. And I have kind of been doing a project where I'm trying to like figure out ways to wear it and like recording the outfits that I try out. I think if the neckline of this wasn't so bad, then this could be cute. Should I keep this on for now? Anyway, so yeah, and like I did hand sew parts of this actually, because I just like wanted the particular sections to be what they were. Like it's obviously like the front is obviously like quite a like pink and particular kind of color scheme, and I wanted to keep that, so that did sometimes mean I did some hand sewing, which I don't know if you can see, but there is some hand sewing there. So yeah, and I think this is really cute. I'd like to make another one, maybe with slightly less patchworking, because I do like there was just a lot, partially because I was working from quite small scraps, whereas if I work still from scraps but just maybe bigger ones, or if I have enough fabric to do like a whole one in one color, then I think that will also be good, and I think shape wise it might come out slightly better. But yeah, other patchwork stuff. I mean, this does actually include my own scraps as well as Afrayed Upcycling, who's called Scarlet, I think, her scraps. So this is unfinished. I got like really into the mood with it, and then like I just like stopped, and I will return to it at some point. I just stopped. It's gonna be a bag. It's got this like little egg pocket, which I love. I love eggs. That's what it looks like on the back. It's definitely not a successful, I think, colour cohesive patchworking way. I made this after I made this, but I also was like partially making it because I wanted to get through some of these scraps. I need to figure out how I want to do like scraps on it, straps I mean, not scraps. And I do actually have like these straps which are left over from like a denim kind of, not, they weren't actual overalls, but like a skirt version of overalls. And so I'm wondering if I could maybe use these, because it would be cool to like use all the scrap bits for this whole project. So I do have 2 of these, but these straps are obviously not long enough, and I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I think I'll definitely use this stuff from it regardless, because like that's very useful. But yeah, I think I would need to like sew these down like literally onto the bag, not so that they come off. And I have kind of been making potential very scrappy straps for this, but this is sort of where I got up to in this project, and I think this part is probably going to be a bit tedious, so I just kind of like left it. And I think also because I'm not sure how I want to attach the straps, that was also why I stopped. So when I have more clear idea, I also have this like slightly strangely pinned collection of strap. So yes, there's that. There is also like a pocket inside of this. Can you see it there? Because I thought that would be cute to put in. Yeah, I don't know if it will be like great, but I think sometimes you do have to do some experiments, and I feel like because this is scrap fabric already, I think it's kind of nice to try to like figure out if this is going to work with that. So yeah. Okay, the final thing to show is in sections, and it's a Halloween skirt that is also patchwork. These are all my scraps, so I'm even wearing like the skirt that one of the fabrics in it is from. This is like one of the rows that I was just trying to figure out in terms of gathering. So this is what I think this is what the second layer is gonna look like. I was worried, and I did like think a lot about the placement of the colours and the patterns and things, but I think overall I'm actually really happy with how this is coming out. This is from like, this is half of the top layer, like the first layer, and so this is what that looks like. This will also be gathered, and I have also decided to put like between the layers a black, or like I guess it's kind of navy band, because I think that is going to make it look really cool as well, before the like increased second or third layer. Yeah, and then I used this old lace that I had that I brought back from storage, and I put it over some of my fabric, and I think that's looking really cool. I have only used a bit of this fabric, partially because I feel like the vibe is slightly different, and obviously I am using scraps, so it's based off of, and like maybe some of them are more than just scraps, you know, there's like proper leftovers, but like maybe still not enough to make like a full garment or whatever. And also I think with some of these fabrics, especially this one, there's only so many like garments I'd want them to be in, so I think in a Halloween skirt, like that's really where this belongs, so that one, you know, I'm using. I don't know, we'll see. I am hoping that it will be cohesive. I think sometimes with patchwork it's hard because like it doesn't look cohesive when you're like putting it all together, but the idea is that all together it's more than the sum of its parts, and I think it can be hard to like tell when it's in pieces. But when I connected these two like rows yesterday, because I wanted to see if I did want the black stripe, so I did like some tests with that, I thought it did look pretty cool ultimately, and I think it's gonna work out. I hope. And I think, you know, it's okay if it does like tend more towards like Halloween-y, cartoonish, like that's fine. I still will wear it, maybe just in like October, September, but that's okay. Maybe a little in November, and even then it sounds like I'm okay to wear it, so yeah, hopefully the next time I, you know, show you, it will be finished and I will be wearing it. Yeah, okay, I think that's finally everything I've had to share. I have talked less than I thought I would, but still for quite a long time. Thank you for still being with me if you are. I hope that your crafting is going okay. I hope that your life is going okay, and that you feel like you're able to make stands in your life where you need to. I love you if you're an anti-fascist, and I hope that you're having a lovely day as much as you can. I will talk to you when I next talk to you.